just gonna I'm gonna do this on loose leaf. Okay, so this is on page. I'll do the. Doesn't really matter which one we do first. I'll do cosine law first. Why not? Okay. So page 2 in booklet. Right, this is cosine law review. And we'll be doing question A, right? So triangle ABC has the following information. So you kind of draw your triangle. Don't make it symmetrical because it most likely won't be, right? So ABC like that. Lowercase c means that across angle C, this will be 25, right? Angle B is 52 degrees, and side A is 18. So just by this, right, we know that's a side angle side. Side angle side, you should be thinking cos law. Okay? And they're asking us to find B anyways, so they want this side. So in this case, you're going to use this formula, right? It's important that you know how that works. So B squared is equal to 25 squared plus the other side, which is 18 squared. So right now it looks like Pythagorean theorem, but it's not, right? Minus 2 times 25 times 18 times cos of 52 degrees. Right, so that angle that's in between the two sides comes back here. This side that you're trying to find has the angle across from it here. And then the next line would be B is equal to the square root of this whole thing. Okay, so you type that in, 25x2 plus 18x2 minus 50 times 18 times cosine of 52. And that is 394 and something, 394.9046. That keeps going. Use all the decimals, right? Take the square root of your answer. That's 19.87 units. We don't know what they are, but that's what it is. Okay. C, we'll skip B for now. Maybe just leave a spot here for B. But I just wanted to review before I do more word problems. Like, do you even know how to do this, right? So C, triangle TAM, right? So you just do that again. You need to draw it out, right? It's important to do this correctly. So TAM, T is 8 centimeters. We have, wait a minute. No, I'm looking at the, am I looking at the right one? HIJ, sorry. I was looking at the wrong question, sorry. Let's try this again. HIJ, like that. And we have all three sides given to us. So H is 43. We don't know if it's centimeters. We just know it's 43. I is 38. And J is 30. Okay. Find the smallest angle, it says. So first of all, we know this is an SSS. That's also cosine law guaranteed. You're not going to be able to use the sine law there, at least to get you started. Okay. So I've graphed it. Smallest angle across shortest side. That's something that you need to know. And the same thing goes with largest angle is across the longest side. So out of these three here, this is the smallest angle. This is the one we're trying to find. Okay? So you start like this. Cosine of J is going to be equal to there'll be a number plus another number minus another. So there's three sides here. And the most important one is the last one here that you're going to subtract, which is going to be the one across the angle you're trying to find. So the 30 will go here. You will square it. And then it's 38 squared plus 43 squared here, right? The 38 and 43 go up front, added. Make sure you square. And then it's 2 times 38, right? That first side times that second side, 43. 30 doesn't show up anymore. Okay, this side here does not show up down here anymore. And now you can figure out, I would like you to do this in steps, so do the top separately. So you go 38 squared plus 43 squared minus 30 squared, and that is 2393 over 2 times 38 times 43. That's 3268. You are going to get a 0 point something out of this, right? So if you want to divide them, your calculator, right, you just go 2393 divided by the latest entry, you get 0.73. I want you to use all decimals if you do it that way. You don't have to write them all down. You can just do this if you'd like in your work. And then your last step is for J. Notice the notation here. Angle J, right, is found by taking cosine inverse of that. Right? So you're taking the inverse of cosine of that. So this is how you do that. You go second cos to call the inverse. And then you just go arrow up, paste it in there, and you get 42.92. Always two decimals no matter what. 42.92 degrees. So there you have it. That's the smallest angle that you have in there. Okay. And I'll post the keys to the other ones later on. Okay. Next, let's go to page 3. There you actually have room to do that right there. But I will keep going with my loose leaf here. So page 3, sine law review. Right? So I will do A here, sun. Right, sun. And you have that side n, lowercase n is 58 centimeters. N is 38 degrees. And U is 72. Find side U. So they're actually asking you to find this side here. That's your unknown. That's your ultimate goal. And here, if you watch the videos, right, of sine law, that's the first thing we start off with. You have a pair. And if it's a pair, you know you're using sine law. So you're going to have sine show up over and over again. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I start with a pair, sine of 38 degrees over 58 centimeters, that is. And then it's sine of 72. They happen to ask for the side length that's across the given angle. If they had asked for S, you would have to find this angle first. And it's easy to do because you have 2 already. So you have to be careful what they're asking for. Okay, so U is right there. You cross multiply and you divide. Okay, so U is going to be 58 times sine of 72. Not just 72, it's sine of 72. Angles are always glued to either sine or cosine when we do the work. So you get 58 times sine of 72 divided by, sorry, I made a mistake here. This divided by sine of 38. and you get 89. Make sure you practice this, and that's 60 rounded centimeters. There's that side length there. Okay. Then we have B. I'm going to jump to C there. You can leave some room for B if you'd like. I will do C here. I'm going to fold that like so. C is tam. There's the tam. I was looking at the wrong one. Right, so tam. And T is 8 centimeters. M is 6 centimeters. And T is 65. Find angle M. So you have to be careful here. What are they asking for? They're asking for this angle right here. And you happen to have the side that's across from it. So these ones are all pretty straightforward. They're like right to the point. You will soon have to get used to, for example, if they had just given you the information that you have here and they asked for angle A, that would have been a totally different story. Then you would have had to first use this pair to find this angle here, and then in turn you can use these two angles to find angle A, and then you could find side A as well. So it's always the things across that you need. So here you have your pair. So sine of 65 over 8 centimeters. And then you have sine of M over 6 centimeters. This is your unknown, right? So you cross multiply up in this case and you divide down. So sine of M is 6 times sine of 65 degrees divided by 8. And here again, I'd like you to not round too soon, okay? So you go 6 times sine of 65 divided by 8. You get 0.6797. That keeps going. I'm going to use the inverse of sine to give me my angle. So this is how you show the work. Angle M is sine inverse of 0.6797 and continues. So angle M is going to be 4282 degrees. Okay, always round to 2 decimals. Use all the decimals here. All right, does that make sense? I have a large audience here, and they're letting me know if I'm doing, if they're getting it or not. I would like to also try D here right now together. So you just write it down. Okay. Solving triangle means to solve for all angles, all sides. Okay. So 1D, solve triangle. What that means is solve all angles and all sides. If you need to, if you think you're going to forget that, make sure you add that to your study sheet. That's what solving a triangle means. So we're going to go cat. Cat like that. C is 32 degrees. Plug that in there. T is 81. Plug it in there. C is 24.1. And we are in meters. And let me tell you something. You will most likely 99.9% of the time only be able to start off with either sine law or cosine law. You're going to have to make that decision. After that, you can go whichever way you want. Everything will work out. Okay, but because of this pair right here, this is going to be a sine law start. Sine law to start. Okay. You can then later switch over to the other if you'd like. But you would need SSS or SAS to do cosine law. You can't. Okay, so it's sine law. So let's set it up. Sine of 32 is what can you solve right now? The only thing that you can solve for is side t because you have the angle. So sine of 81 over side t, cross multiply and divide. T is 24.1 times sine of 81 over sine of 32. And then we'll solve for t there. Be careful when you type in. Make sure you do it properly. That's 44.92 if you round it. Meters. And it makes sense. It's the angle is more than twice as big as the 32. So you expect the side length to be, right, at least double. So you solve for t. We have that. And then next we're going to solve for angle. Maybe that's the first thing that you should have done is solve for angle A. Angle A is 180 minus 32 minus 81. Sum of triangle, right? $67 degrees. So you box that in because solving means we need to give you at least 3 things to get started. So you're going to have to solve 3 things to solve the whole triangle. Okay, so we need 2 sides and this one angle, which you already did. So now we're going to solve for this side, which is A. And I'm just going to make an arrow here using red maybe that you have this side is now known to you. You now have an SAS. So you could use cosine law. If you wanted to, right, we have the 67 that we just found. The 67 is over here. That wasn't known to us at first. We solve for this side, so you have an SAS here between these 3, and so you can find side A. So I'm going to actually do that. Okay. So side A squared is going to be 44.92 squared. This is the side I just found. Plus 24.1 squared minus 2 times 44.92 times 24.1. This 2 is part of the formula, okay? Times cosine of 67 degrees. So now that we found one extra side, it changed for us, and we were able to implement cosine law here. A is going to be the square root of, because you want A itself, so you need to take the square root of both sides. We're going to plug this into our calculators, and I strongly encourage you to do that. Practice typing things in, because that's often a big, you have a lot of chances to make a mistake there. If you practice, then all those little nuances are going to be ironed out. So 1757, 62, and it keeps going. 1752, sorry, 62, and it keeps going. So if you take the square root of that, you get 41.86, and we are in meters. And let's just state it once, all the angles, right? angles cat, right? If we do all three angles, do we have them all? That's 32. T was 81. A we found, that was 67. And then we have side C, side A, and side T. C was given to us, that's 24.1 meters. A is 41.86 meters, which we calculated, and T is 44.92 meters, which we also calculated. So right now this triangle is solved. You know everything about it. Okay. We're at 136, so I'm gonna start compass directions with you folks. Okay. So get your notes out, and maybe I will